All right, so welcome, Kim, to
Thank you, Jono.
Zoom room
Good to
again.
be
Seems like Sunday is Sunday later than when you do it. So yeah, I'll just keep it a very short session because I know it's heading on for 11 o'clock there in South Africa. So
Thank you.
let's just have a look at the lesson, shall we? So I'll just share my screen. So have a look at the quote quickly, just maybe read the quote, any thoughts on that, and the lesson.
Yeah. Stress is best defined as the perception of physical or psychological threat.
Which is really hitting the nail on the head. That's what stress is. So stress and fear are really the same thing. A lot of people don't necessarily realize that, but all stress is based on the perception of some kind of threat. Something or someone seems to be threatening, and then we experience what we call stress, and another name for that is fear. So they're really all the same, and it starts off metaphysically with the fear in our minds, but that then plays out in the body in many ways. Whereas all these conditions that I've mentioned here have been linked to stress, and they say stress is the biggest killer in the world because it's underlying so many conditions.
Yeah. So those are symptoms of it. It starts in the mind of, I guess, worry of something that might happen that creates that fear, or I don't know, fear about something that has happened in the past that's might be fearing those consequences.
So yeah, so we just project into the future and have all kinds of false expectations, and then that creates this fight or flight mode in our bodies. We gear up to fight or flee, and that has all kinds of very unhealthy consequences for our body. Various systems like the reproductive and the digestive and the immune system temporarily shut down or inhibited to mobilize as much energy as possible to fight or flee, but actually nothing's really happening. 99.99% of the time, you don't actually have a life-threatening situation to deal with. So the stress chemicals then go in and they manifest in various problems and ultimately disease that can show up in the body. And so this is how the biochemistry of fear works. And the only way out is really to make a choice, conscious choice to let it go. And that's why we do the mind training. So changing those thoughts, changing the emotions, changing our perception of any situation. So, Deepak Chopra hits the nail on the head here. He says stress is best defined as the perception of physical or psychological threat. So it's a perception. So that's where we've got to make the change in our perception. And that's exactly what we're doing. The mind training. Bless you.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at, speaking of the mind training, let's have a look at...
I'm just curious about that. Sorry, John, before we move on. The scientific effects, one of them is skin conditions. Was that chronic ones, or like eczema or psoriasis or something?
Yeah, I imagine so, yeah. All kinds of... Because any inflammation in the body is a sign of stress.
Yeah.
Stress and inflammation go hand in hand. So,
Yeah.
and so we see it in these, these various conditions, and it's all originates in the mind. So, Yesha is saying to us, go find it. What's the problem? The problem is really in the mind. The body plays out the mind's desires through the biochemistry, but that's not the cause. The cause is in the mind, and the thoughts and emotions and perceptions that you experiencing regularly. And the only way of changing that is, well, change your mind. So that's, why this mind training is so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look at the lesson, shall we? Off now. So let's just read. We'll skip the introductory stuff. Let's just read the. Today belongs to. You want to read that? Today belongs to love.
Today belongs to love. Let me not fear. Today belongs to love, so I am not afraid.
This is the only antidote to fear is love, and love is something in your mind that you've got to accept back. So these lessons are very simple. Some people might say, well, this is, it's ridiculously simplistic. Today belongs to love, so I'm not afraid. But, in the end, that's the only remedy for fear. Just to remind yourself of this transcendent power we call love. That is pure formless awareness. The perfect love is the whole translation. Today belongs to that awareness. And in that awareness, I can't be afraid because that awareness is whole and complete and perfect. And nothing on the level of form can really touch it. So all of these lessons are calling us to go back to that awareness, store our mind to that awareness, and in that awareness, there's nothing to fear. You realize that everything else besides that awareness is merely an illusion, which has no absolute reality. So a simple lesson, but all these lessons point to this very deep metaphysical truth that underlies this teaching. That only love is real, nothing real can be threatened. So love can't be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. Fear, which is unreal, doesn't exist. Herein lies the peace of God. So in that double realization, nothing real can be threatened. So holding only to love, nothing unreal can be threatened. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. And those two go hand in hand. So then fear, because nothing real can be threatened, and fear cannot be real. So therefore it doesn't truly exist. And that's always what he's asking us to remember. If you do remember it, then you can't be afraid. Fear disappears because you've seen through the illusion of it. You see that it's just a device the mind is made up. The ego mind is made up to convince itself that it is separate. Okay, so do you want to read the alternative version of paragraph 1, my source?
My source today, I would let all things be as you extend them, and give your extension the honor due its sinlessness, the love of companion to his companion and friend. Through this I am redeemed. Through this as well, the truth will enter where illusions were. True awareness will replace all limited awareness, and your extension will know it as you extend it.
No, it is as you extend it. So we are as this presence of love extends us. I'll fix that as we go along. So it's to know ourselves as the awareness that extends us, and that has always extended us and always will. Just one awareness rather than the limited awareness, one true awareness that we are this, primary source, true awareness, just being extended all the time. When we become aware of that, then we become aware that we are connected. We are the extension of the source. And that's the merging of the Father with the Son, which is what the at-one-ment process is all about. So the divine purpose of the universe is this remembering of the Son extension, remembering its source that it's denied. Okay, so any thoughts on that? When come to mind?
Let's look at that. True awareness will replace all limited awareness. Limited awareness is
Darkness. So if you want to read the original there, you can see what the original is.
Yeah.
You want to read that out?
Yeah. Father, today I would let all things be as you created them, and give your Son the honor due his sinlessness, the love of brother to his brother and his friend. Through this I am redeemed. Through this, as well as the truth will enter where illusions were. Light will replace all darkness, and your Son will know he is as you created him.
Okay, and I'll read the translation, see if that makes any difference.
My source, today I would let all things be as you extend them, and give your extension honor due its sinlessness, the love of companion to his companion and friend. Through this I am redeemed. Through this as well, the truth will enter where illusions were. True awareness will replace all limited awareness, and your extension will know it as you extend it. I don't know, for me, the darkness and limited awareness are different.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's also...
Why are they different?
Maybe the limited awareness is still in this illusion or mind, which I don't necessarily see as darkness. I see darkness as
What?
the negative part of the illusion, should I say.
Yeah, but it all is in the mind ultimately. Darkness is the part of the mind that is denied light, and the light is just true awareness. So it's the awareness of truth that's in the person's mind, and that has been allowed in there and allowed to replace all the thoughts of limited awareness. So he uses light and darkness. They point us to this awareness. The reason that, like I've named it, as limited awareness and true awareness, is because often light and darkness are quite abstract. People start to visualize, light as being this, and darkness as being its opposite. But actually, it's just referring to a state of mind, an awareness. It's either true or false. False awareness is the darkness. You're aware of the truth, and that's the light.
Okay.
And the one denies the other. That's really the key of the non-dual teaching. Is in as soon as you bring any light in, darkness disappears.
Yeah.
And in the absence of light, then you have darkness. So darkness has no positive quality of its own. It's defined by the absence of light, which is why it's not real. Does that make sense?
So just say that last part again, Jono.
So darkness has no positive quality of its own. It is defined purely by the absence of what does have a positive quality, which is light.
Mm.
You see this even in this world. As soon as you bring a light into a room, the darkness is gone. So the light is something, it's got a positive energy, radiates out. The darkness exists in the absence of that energy. You don't put on a darkness light. That doesn't happen. It's defined by the absence of. It means that it's not ultimately true or real. And so all darkness or limited awareness can be undone. And whereas the light is eternal, because that awareness that we've chosen to cover over with the illusion of darkness, you recognize is still there, can't really go anywhere. So all these lessons are just pointing you back to that awareness, very directly. They're just direct pointers back to the truth. Okay, so any other thoughts? Any thoughts on number one? Comments, questions? What's he saying here in summary?
I'm just reading it again.
It's okay, you'll take your time. Just try and feel into, notice the form of these words is much shorter, it's very brief. It's called a sutra in some of the Eastern teachings. The sutra form, very short, brief pointer to take you into a deeper state of awareness. So fewer words, but just trying to take you directly into the experience of your source, which is why all these have a prayer, my source. So you're addressing that's the part of your mind that is pure and holy, still, pure formless awareness, perfect love.
I think just to really put it simply, it's like when you refer to my source or pure formless awareness, it's one's accessing it as and what it's saying is this is a part of you, and this part of you extending to your other companions and others. And this is how you're going to reach that level of, the word salvation is not there, but it's getting to that true self of yours. So I think, and that's what these lessons are asking to do, is go deeper and feeling that true self or source or pure formless awareness. And then with this lesson, extending it to others, so that's love. And with that, then you kind of there's no space for fear.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I'm trying to describe my experience of it if I go through this lesson.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. If you really identify with true awareness, then there is no room for fear. Let's make that capital A. Actually, there's no room for fear. So the one replaces the other. If you want to dwell on limited thoughts in this limited awareness, that's the darkness. Then you deny the true awareness, and it's hidden. Yesha is very clear. Like he's saying, it's one or the other. You must choose. You can't entertain both thought systems in your mind simultaneously. Okay. Happy to move on to number 2. So it's very short. Just read the original and then the translated version underneath that.
A special blessing comes to us today from Him who is our Father. Give this day to Him, and there would be no fear today, because the day is given unto love. A special blessing comes to us today from our source. Give this day to it, and there will be no fear today, because the day is given to love.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty simple instruction, but it does require vigilance to give a day to love. It's just, we're only going to have entertain loving thoughts and feelings today. Is what he means. Day is given to love, and then let love guide you. Pure, formless awareness of perfect love, we call it. Let that guide you.
I do feel when I remember that helped me through the today. Just with my interaction with people today or loved ones, or I'm aware of when I'm not being like that. It wasn't always, but when I did, it's like a different feeling to when you feel this love. And I could feel
you start to be able to tell the difference
of that. Yeah.
That's the main thing, is to be able to tell the difference.
I mean, I wasn't always aware of that, but I can think of moments when I was. But generally, I think the day went well in the sense of maybe even I wasn't like consciously aware of this. I guess it just was generally flowing like that anyway. It didn't feel like there was this, I don't know, this conflict or like, okay, sometimes it arises. And earlier, and I know in the earlier part of the day, I would think of the lessons like, okay, but this is an ego reaction. But even in the latter part of the day, it was like, I didn't feel like I was forcing things and things were flowing generally. There wasn't a lot that was brought up for me that would raise a lot of fear and stress. So, yeah, must have had some positive effect, the lesson today.
No, that's the point. You remember. It's an anchor. It's a way of remembering. There's something else in my mind. There's another awareness, and by using it, you instructing your mind to remember that awareness.
Yeah.
Bring that awareness into any situation that you're dealing with, which is then the healing of it. If you can remain rooted in your true awareness throughout any difficult situation, That's what we're training our minds to do. That's the whole point of doing the spiritual practice.
Well, even if sometimes I
Mhm.
wasn't always aware, like I didn't bring up that awareness of the lesson as it was today, but it was more a case of um, I think I just allowed myself to relax more and also not to react in a way of, I don't know, I think we're running a little bit late where we're going to, but what pops up in my mind is like, and it's almost like was an observer, just think, okay, it could be because, the Uber driver's late or running late. And I'm like, but that's not true. And it is what
Mm,
it is. And it's because of me. I
mm,
contributed to be, what I'm saying? It was like, okay, well, just kind of just remove myself from that kind of talk of, and that comes out of fear. It starts with fear because you think,
mm.
no, yeah, there's that fear of
Well, you're
what's
going to
going
be
to happen
late
if I,
and
yeah, and it's like,
consequences for that. So fear always works in time and space. It works on the level of form, and the more you dwell on that level, the more fearful you'll get. Because there's always in the world of illusion, always something or something that can go wrong, and you fear that. But if you can just be aware of it, that's where it starts. Okay, I'm aware of those thoughts, and they're coming up. But in that awareness, I realize I'm not those thoughts. I'm something else. And that's really the process of this radical forgiveness, or letting go. It's a very simple process. Come into the higher awareness. You look at your egoic perceptions, and you realize that they can't be true. Both can't be true. You can't have the ego being true and your true awareness being true. They contradict each other. So you must choose at which altar you're going to worship. Each lesson he's giving us is an exercise in doing that and choosing. So you just keep choosing right-mindedly, and then that's systematically undoing the ego. It's a very simple methodology, but very powerful. Don't be fooled by the simplicity of it.
yeah,
You practice it, you're making the choice every time you practice this lesson for eternal love and against the illusion of a separated self that seems to exist in this world. Okay, so any other thoughts on the lesson? Do you want to just do a quick meditation on it?
yeah, just whatever. I just need to blow my nose. I don't know what's going
Well,
on now.
So I'm ready.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so just put yourself on mute, sitting comfortably, feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Breathing into your heart center, Put one hand on your heart center to connect with your heart space. Draw the energy into your heart, up into the crown of your head. And so just observe any thoughts, emotions, sensations going on. Breathe into them again to create some space, some awareness, some light around them. And then with the help of your breath, you're just going to let them go. So you exhale. And just blow them all away with the breeze of your breath. Just blow it all out, and letting go any kind of disturbance, any negative thoughts, emotions, things not welcome there. Remind yourself as you do that, today belongs to love. And so I'm not afraid. Blow it all out. Breathe in your breath into the nothingness it really is. And just rest here. So just rest in this very deep, peaceful, silent space. Watch your breath. The breath just breathe you in and out through your nose. The breath take you deeper with each breath into this source, into the oneness. So just resting in this loving presence for a couple of minutes. Remind yourself today belongs to love, so I'm not afraid. And listen to these words. I'll read the lesson again. You just concentrate on watching your breath flowing into the nostrils and then out of the nostrils. And keep your mind very so listen to these words. Let them permeate into your mind. You observe the breath. Today belongs to love. Let me not fear. Today belongs to love, so I'm not afraid. So my source, the translated version of this lesson, my source. My source, today I let all things be as you extend them. And give your extension the honor due its solicitous. Love of companion to his companion and friend. So today I let all things be as you extend them. Give your extension the honor due its sinlessness, the love of companion to his companion and friend. Through this I am redeemed. Through this as well the truth will enter, where illusions were. Just feel into these words. Feel this love extending through you. And you give honor to the innocence, the purity of all of your brothers. So the source naturally extends to them as well. We are all one in the same source. Try and really feel into that realization. It doesn't matter what physical appearances seem to separate us. We are one in our united source. So through this as well, the truth will enter. Where illusions were, true awareness will replace all limited awareness. Light will replace dark and the original lesson. Light will replace dark or true awareness. Translation for light will replace all darkness, which is limited awareness. And your extension will know it as you extend it. So a special blessing comes to us today. Breathe in this blessing to every pore, every cell, every muscle of the body. Every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Special blessing comes to us today from our source. Give this day to it and there'll be no fear today, because the day is given to love. So just review the day. This day is over. View the incidents in the day. Were you able to apply this lesson? Did it help you to maintain? So feel that you did give today to love, even if fear intruded a little bit. There were moments in your life when there was no fear. So just notice those, acknowledge those, and so just sinking in. There's really nothing to do, nowhere else to go. No great intellectual realizations, just sinking inwards and merging with your source. Realize the source and your own true awareness are the same. So just watch your breath and for a couple of minutes sink inwards to the source and feel the energy, feel the emotion of the source. Just surrender for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, be still. Surrender into the stillness. A couple of minutes of deep silence, experience the love of God, the pure formless awareness of perfect love. The next couple of minutes, deep silence. And so just gently coming back in this deep connected state of awareness into an awareness of your body and the breath and the senses in the world. And on the count of three, you're going to open your eyes. So one, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Wow. Scan your mind, notice any thoughts, emotions, sensations going on in the body related to them, and just exhale and let that all go. One more time, mind yourself. Today I give to love, so I cannot fear. Accepting love means fear is impossible. And then you just blow all that away. Helps you imagine blowing it away like a dark cloud leaving you. Black smoke, dark clouds, visualizations. Only there, use them if they're helpful. Let's just feel into the body. So notice how the air flows out, chest and stomach suck back in. As you raise up into your crown, subsides back down to the low stomach and the groin. And so you just rest here. Peace and stillness, anchor this peace in so you can carry this with you for the rest of the evening on into your sleep and tomorrow. So it's said and so it's done. On the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around, noticing various objects in the room around you. In this very calm, detached way. So don't need to name or judge or label anything, just allow it to be. And then look at something else, notice that. It's the same energy, same awareness underlying it. And just stay rooted in that awareness. Take that to bed with you and into your week. So thank you, Kim. I think you're still muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Jono.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining. Short and sweet, but hopefully I'll prepare you nicely for bed.
Thank you.
Sleep well, and yeah, we'll speak in the week, no doubt. Join us on Tuesday or Thursday if you can.
Thanks, Jono.
Okay.
All right.
Namaste.
Namaste. Night.
Night.